Hi, you're listening to Abbacadabra Radio. I'm Abby, your host, and on this podcast we talk about manifestations, meditations, timeline jumping, tarot card insights, astrological insights, literally whatever comes up. Happy to have you guys here for the ride. Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. When I'm recording this, it's 2/22/2022, and I'm not going to release it today, but I'm too in the zone to not record something. So here we are. Today's episode is about manifestation. What a shocker. What a surprise. Because what else do I talk about? No, I talk about other things. But today's episode, the topics are going to be, there's this like sweet spot to when it comes to living in the end, that technique, which I'll get into. And then the second one I'm going to start with, and it's the seeds that we plant and like the germination process and all that, because it's important. So we're planting seeds to manifest all the time. We're constantly telling the universe what we do want and what we don't want. And after we get through, different belief systems that might be blocking us from things, the seeds will start to take root and grow and bloom into our reality. And then we'll want new things and plant new seeds and all that stuff. But there's things that you do in your everyday life that are planting seeds without you even realizing it. And I've been noticing a lot of different things already. Well, not already. I've been noticing them for like probably over a year now of stuff that I've done that was actually me planting seeds without realizing that that's what I was doing. I hope this makes sense. Basically, number one is I'm pretty sure when I was probably a few years before, maybe like a year before I met my boyfriend, I'm not crazy, I swear. I think I manifested meeting someone where he lives, because what I would do is I would go on a drive, usually on Sundays, and just try to vibe out. This was like when I was really trying to get into like conscious creation and manifestation and all this stuff. And I would drive through, he lives off of a very public street. So that street that he lives off of, that main road, I would drive every Sunday. I would drive that way on that street, and I would envision like living in like the really nice big houses there. Like it was totally had nothing to do with a relationship, had nothing to do with a boyfriend, had nothing to do with any of that. But I would drive in that area and like picture myself living there and picture myself being there and just enjoying life. And then I wouldn't really think anything of it. And then like fast forward to like probably like a year, I don't know, 15 months, who knows, who cares? My boyfriend lives off of that very busy road, and I drive there all the time now to like go see him. So that's like one weird little like seed that like you plant stuff with what you do all the time. Another seed I had planted was this podcast. Like I have had in the back of my mind that I wanted to record a podcast for years. And I had ideas of like, it's too saturated. What I talk about, people don't want to listen to. I just didn't think that recording a podcast was in the cards for me at the time, which is fine. That's cool, whatever. And I ended up recording this when I was like, no, like I like talking about, like everything had fit. Everything fell into place. So I had planted the seeds for a podcast years and years ago. And then it wasn't until I like went through a whole like spiritual reawakening, because I did go through a reawakening within the last few months, like a very different kind of awakening and seeing things in a very different way and being very open to things. And I'm like, no, like it's just logical for me to do this because I love talking about this stuff and I love listening to this stuff. So why not just freaking babble on for 15, 20 minutes every few days about what's going on, and maybe it will help somebody else. Maybe it will inspire somebody else. Like, why not? That's why this podcast is here, if you didn't know. So that was another seed I had planted. And then one that I had planted in my early 20s, I'm 27, was just like having a fit body the vanity of it all. We all want to look good, but not having to do any of the work for it. Now, that's not what happened. But I did find myself really getting into fitness, really getting into weightlifting and working out. And now I have a home gym. I have like a fitness Instagram that I've run for a few years. And working out doesn't feel like work. Working out is like, it's not like a job. It's not a chore. It's not anything that I feel, I have to, like, I want to do it. I enjoy doing it. So I do it. And my body obviously has like transformed, not like not in any intense way. It's not like I lost a ton of weight, not that I had to. It's not like I'm like a ripped bodybuilder. I don't want to do that, but like I'm just more comfortable and feel better in my body, and I'm more appreciative of my body because of that. So it's changed. Like, that's another seed that I planted. That just, when you plant seeds, you don't know how long it's going to take them to germinate and grow. So it's really those like set it and forget it ones that sneak in, and however long it takes is fine. Like I said earlier, it depends on your beliefs. It depends on what you're operating at. Like I had said with the podcast seeds, I didn't think that this was anything that people would want. And now I'm at a place where I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, the right people will hear it. The wrong people won't. And if they do, who cares? Like, and it just feels right. But I had to go through like that belief system of people don't want to hear what I have to say. What I have to say doesn't matter, or like whatever, because that's truly not a belief I have anymore. But I did have it then. So there's that. And then, so that's like planting seeds. See if you can go back and see seeds that you planted and see if they will like see how they've germinated and grown and bloomed into new things. Even like last week, I did this exercise where I was just sending like love and just happiness to a person. I sent it to my little sister because I heard it on a podcast. Like, just try it. Just see what happens. Like, see them in a golden light. Like, see them very happy. And she got engaged this like a few days later. Did I do that? No, I didn't create her getting engaged. That was going to happen. But like, I don't know. I'm not crazy. I swear. But so try that exercise. Try that, seeing people in a golden light, seeing people happy, seeing them abundant. Like, that is a nice thing to do, to give someone. Like, that's gifting someone by seeing them and visualizing them in a very happy place is a way of like giving. Like, that's because eventually you'll experience it. If you subscribe to the idea that everyone is you pushed out, then seeing this person or another person in a very happy, productive light, you're going to see that. You're going to have that reflected, like, and believe that that is a possible thing for them. You're going to see that reflected back to you. And that's great. That's such a nice thing to do. So and now on to living in the end, in the sweet spot. This is fun. So Neville Goddard, if you like him, great. If you don't, great. I know some people think he's controversial, but some of his stuff is just like too good to ignore. So that's where I'm at with that. So he has the practice. It's not just him, like everybody else has kind of done this too, but the practice of living in the end. And a lot of times you'll see or hear in his talks or read in his books that he suggests the idea of living in the end, living in the feeling state that the thing has already happened as you're going to sleep, which is really hard for me to do. So usually I just do it in meditation. But I used to be like, I have to get in this super blissed out, super happy, really, really, really elevated state. Oh my God, I need to like feel my vibration rise. I need to like have the visceral experience, or I'm not going to manifest it. Yeah, no. There's a sweet spot when it comes to this, and it's not there. It's actually a very like toned down version of it, because when you're in that, like, I have to have it, like, I love it so much, I'm so grateful, I can't believe this is mine, like, blah, 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 you're in a state of trying to, like, actively pull it in, and you're trying to, like, probably control how it happens. And when you're in that place, you're probably trying to visualize how it comes into play, which we cannot control. And when you stare directly at the universe and tell it that you want it to do that, usually it doesn't do that, which is really frustrating. It'll come up with like 7 other ways that it'll still do it, but not how you pictured. So you want to be in the state of like believing that this is yours. And if you don't fully believe that this thing is yours, then that's absolutely fine, but you've got work to do before you're going to pull it in. So you want to figure out what it's triggering in you that you can't have it, that you believe it's not yours. If it's like with money, some people believe that money's just hard to get, or that they just cannot ever have enough, or it could be old lack programming from like being a kid. Like, I love parents, but it's a lot of times parents will kind of totally unintentionally program like lack beliefs in their kids, because when they talk like, oh, we can't afford that, oh, we can't have that, oh, we don't have money for that. I grew up with a mom who always said we didn't have money for everything and anything when we did. And I grew up fine. I grew up like absolutely fine. And my dad was the opposite. He's like, no, we're fine, we're good. So it was really interesting having 2 parents that do that. I personally haven't had the experience of lack. When I was in high school, 10th grade, I decided I wouldn't go to college, and I was immediately faced with so many people like, what are you going to do? You're going to flip burgers at McDonald's? Are you going to do this? You're going to do that? Like, you're not going to make enough money. And I just remember just confidently saying to people like, I'm going to be happy. Like, whatever I end up doing, I'm going to be happy. Like, that's my goal. And I don't think I'm going to be happy going to college right now. So I don't think I'm going to put that on. Like, I'm just not going to do it. And that was a very weird thing for people to hear, but that's where I was at. And I, 27, still haven't gone to college, happier than ever. I would say I'm pretty successful, and I work a job that I love, and it's flexible, and I can do so many things. So that worked for me. I don't have that like lack of money programming. I've had to battle it a little bit here and there. Usually in the winter time when the oil bill comes in, I'll have to like battle with like, I don't have enough money. I have enough money. I'm fine. Like, I can pay for things. Like, I'm good. Like, stop thinking just because you're spending money, you don't have enough. Like, it's okay. Money's just energy. If you spend it, it'll come back to you. Like, it's cyclical. It's just going to keep coming. And that's truly how I view money, which, take that for what you will. If you have any money issues, we can work on that. I don't know. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. The sweet spot of living in the end, you want to be in a comfortable, confident, fully believing that you can have, that's how I got off on the tangent, fully believing that you can have this thing, fully believing that it's already yours. And it's not a super like, oh my God, yes, yes, yes kind of energy that you're looking to have. It's not super blissed out. It's like neutral, but like up a couple of notches. Like, yeah, that's just mine. Like, yeah, that's just like, think about people who have a lot of money or people who are in a happy marriage. It's just their norm. Like, you want to find the sweet spot of that being your norm, and you want to stay there where it's like, yeah, I'm really happy that I have this nice car. Yeah, I'm really happy that I live in this great house that I can afford. Like, yeah, I'm really happy that I'm married to the love of my life and we have kids, like whatever it is. But you want it to just be a confident, logical no-brainer. That's the sweet spot. If you can get there and repeat that process, I don't know, a couple times a day, maybe once a day, maybe when you're falling asleep, maybe when you're waking up in the morning, it doesn't matter. It's going to come in. It is going to come in, and you just have to give it like time. But like I said, it's working on the beliefs that pop up when you start working on this that you gotta address, because if you don't address them, it's not gonna pop up because you're not gonna believe it. So you have to, like, you know, I've been working on getting into like the belief system that anything can happen and magical things can happen, and everything that's happening, even if in the physical world it doesn't necessarily seem like it's working out for me, is always working out to my advantage. It's not easy to always be in that mindset that everything is working out to my advantage. But if you can find the advantage in anything, or trust that there's an advantage and it will work out in your favor in some way in the end, it like helps you move through things a lot faster. It's just like, okay, like it is what it is. It's fine. I don't know if I've told this story on this podcast. I had my identity stolen when I was in like June, and it's February. So yeah, a few months ago, like I don't know how many months ago, had my identity stolen and a good and half of my life savings taken out of my account by someone, just two people. And when I was going through the, you know, situation, I go to the bank. I was there for like 4 hours. I had to change every bank account that my name was on, which was a lot because since my mom passed away, my name is on a few bank accounts that wasn't before. So there was just so much that had to be done. And the people at the bank were like, you are not freaking out about this. You are not crying. You're not screaming. Like, are you okay? And I just remember saying, like, crying's not productive. Like, we're just going to get to the bottom of it and it's going to be fine. And it was. And I think if I had, again, like, I don't have maybe it's because I didn't have that, like, restrictive lack programming with money. And I just knew that everything would work out and everything would be fine. But I just trusted. I was like, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. And everything's been fine. And I haven't had any issues. And my money the bank reimbursed me. And I'm sure we'll find the people that did it one day. We haven't yet, but we will. If that had happened, like, even 6 months before, I probably would have lost my shit. So I was just in the right state of mind to be like, yeah, it's all good. I won't wear nice pants on a Friday now because I was wearing nice pants that Friday that it happened. And I'm like convinced myself that I'm cursed if I wear nice pants on a Friday. So it's jeans or shorts or sweatpants or leggings, but not nice pants. I won't do it. I should work on that belief system. I don't know why I had to tell you guys that story of the identity theft, but I think it was just another example of, like, you give things meaning, and if things like, oh, I remember now, if the outside physical reality is seeming like it's not really lining up with what you'd like, just let it roll. It's hard. It's so hard to let it roll. I don't know how I was able to let it roll so well, and I've had, you know, other situations where I've come full stop and had a breakdown and haven't slept for like days and been in the victim mentality until I'm not. You know, I'll be a victim until I don't want to be a victim anymore to the stuff happening around me because I know it's always going to change. And I can't control how it's going to change and I can't control how it's going to look. But if I trust that everything's just going to keep rolling and keep working and eventually work out in my favor, it does. But of course there's like a humanness to this all. Like, you have the breakdowns, have the freakouts. We're not here to just be robots. We're not here just to be like, I want it, I have it, okay, cool. Like, there's no fun in that. Like, it's okay to have the breakdowns. You're supposed to have the breakdowns because that's how you have a breakthrough. Like, I never would have had the breakthroughs that I've had if I hadn't had the crazy breakdowns. Again, don't fear the tower moment. Be the tower. Let everything fall to the fucking ground and then rebuild on that. Rebuild on that foundation that's going to be stronger because it's going to have lessons and it's going to have your whatever in it. Yeah. That's my tangent for today. And yeah, I think it was good. I think it was helpful. I hope it was. That I've been wanting to talk about that manifesting sweet spot for a while. So yeah, that living in the end, that manifestation belief system one, it is powerful. Dwell on that as much as you can. and see where it takes you. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you're all well. If you have questions, you can email abbacahdabrapod@gmail.com. It's in the show notes because who knows how to spell that? Half the time I don't, because I didn't spell abracadabra right. But that's okay. All right, fam. Until next time, this is Abby, signing off.